What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the AI battle. I've realised it did. I don't think the video was showing then. Sorry, it was a dark screen. We're back. 3 turns. That was all it took, of course, because the AI, they love to declare wars when they think you're not watching and you're away. Yugoslavia versus Austria. Here we go. It's not Yugoslavia, Bosnia, but it certainly will shake up the results. It could be the end for the smallest civ remaining in Austria, and it could see Yugoslavia catapult themselves potentially as high as 2nd place, if they're not there already. I think on score they're currently 3rd, just behind Carthage, but yeah, I mean, if they killed Austria completely, that would certainly put them 1st. But this is going to be a brutal one. I believe it's 500,000 Austrian soldiers to maybe 600,000, up against about 1.1 million Yugoslavian soldiers last time we checked. So we'll see how it goes. It does seem like Yugoslavia has a bit of a tech advantage, but Austria does have a lot of planes. I certainly don't see any rocket artillery for Austria, which suggests a lack of aluminium, which Yugoslavia does have. Yugoslavia also has a lot of tanks, which means they'll be quite mobile. There's actually 4 tanks, 5, including that one. They also have an XCOM squad. That is the first XCOM squad I've actually seen or taken note of. I'm sure there's probably some other ones around the map. I wouldn't be too concerned. There probably is some somewhere. Maybe there isn't. Maybe there's not. You know, it's quite a noticeable unit. There is still some fighting for the Vatican, but that's the only thing. It's been 3 turns. Nothing else happened. That was the only pop-up. And I thought we'd come back, because this is pretty big. This is the sort of thing we've been asking for. It would be wrong not to come back. It looks like Austria is just going to go for this. Look, they've dropped in their paratroopers. Good for them. Good for them. This is going to be an exciting one. Yugoslavia was not exactly prepared for it, but we'll see how it goes. And at the moment, it is that damaging units stage, which plays very much into Yugoslavia's hands. Sadly, these 4 paratroopers will probably be wiped out next turn, and then Yugoslavia can turn to focus up this way. Austria is helped by the mountains in these 4 cities, particularly this one, because there's even more mountains in the way. But they are disadvantaged here because Salzburg and Prague are left pretty exposed outside of the protection of the mountains. So it is a bit of a mixed approach. I believe Yugoslavia goes first, if you're wondering, in the turn importance. Rome pieces out with Monaco. Carthage is the current civ holding the Vatican, so they could still get it back. I'm not sure what the Gauls are doing here. I think they just have open borders with Carthage, so they're just making use of any extra space they can get while they can. They are very quick to jump in, and we should see these 4 paratroopers die this turn. That would not surprise me. Maybe all 5 of them could go. Here, these ones pretty exposed too. One just disappeared up there. Okay, so all but one. This one does just about survive, but yeah, that's a big blow already to Austria. I don't know what they were going for, but I like the enthusiasm. Throwing the paratroopers in first. Maybe not the best idea. And we'll see. Will Bosnia be tempted? Could they, if Yugoslavia drops low enough, or will they just join against Austria? Who knows? We'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, this is exciting. We'll see what Yugoslavia can do. They are emerging as maybe the civ. I mean, if the Gauls continue to do nothing and they cap out at technology 80, we've seen Carthage has matched the Gauls pretty much now for military manpower. So it's not unfeasible that that Carthage or Yugoslavia could match up with the Gauls fairly soon. I mean, Carthage still probably has to get a few more cities. But yeah, if Carthage killed Rome, which again, they've not been shown any sign of doing, but if they managed to get their act together and do it, they would probably go above the Gauls now, because it's hard to say, but because the tech, not in every category, right? Some of them are long-term. You know, the Gauls will probably be ahead on culture and social policies for a long time, etc. But if they took out Rome, in terms of production, and you know, obviously being on the max technology is removed, military manpower, they would go above the Gauls at that point, you'd assume. It's not impossible to say that the Gauls would no longer be winning this game. They have a lot, and it would take some time. Obviously, they've not been in a war for ages, so they just have thousands of units. But, you know, Carthage has a lot. They filled Sicily. They filled their bit in Africa. And if you combine that and their Sardinia land and Malta, although the Gauls are also in Malta, it wouldn't be the same size as the Gauls. Let's not kid ourselves. But it's big. And if you added all of Rome, it would be bigger than the or at least equal size then, because the Gauls have most of northern, 75% of northern Italy. Obviously Monaco still has some of it, and then they have a big chunk north in the Alps as well. There you go. I'm no longer getting to choose on the votes, which is at least good. Yugoslavia is pushing in, particularly here in the east, towards Salzburg and Prague. We'll see how this goes. We might check the manpower stats in just a minute. We are getting towards turn 400. But yeah, we'll check the manpower stats in a few minutes. In a few turns. See how things are looking for Austria. I think they already had the smallest remaining military, potentially. They were getting near to Monaco, so maybe they've leapfrogged them. But we'll see. There you go. This city down to a 60% health. Austria does have some atomic bombs now. I mean, I wonder if they're considering it. It would take a while to load in if they used one, because sometimes it is a bit slow. So probably wouldn't know for a turn or two, but could happen at some point. Here we go, Gauls with their turn. Anything? Not yet, no. Okay, what do Yugoslavia have? Some fighter planes. They have a lot of... Ooh, that is a lot of atomic bombs and nuclear missiles there. 2 atom bombs, 3 nuclear missiles. They have a bomber in Graz. They do have a lack of a sort of conventional air force. Stealth bomber. Stealth bomber. They are spread out, but there's definitely a lack of those sorts of planes. But yeah, this city is now very low. With the atomic bomb. If the tank could if they could clear this mobile SAM, I think the tank would be, and this one, the tank would be able to get in one turn from where it currently is. So that's not exactly. Oh, and there's a lot of XCOM squads arriving now. I mean, not exactly the best unit for fighting some of these, but they're certainly pretty tough. They will definitely be beating infantry. You know, that's a huge advantage there. And yeah, if this city is not the one I thought would go first, so if it does. That does block off the Gauls again and gives them a bigger border with Yugoslavia. Graz just got nuked, I can tell that, because it just lost half its health. Unless they hit it with every plane at once, it definitely just got nuked. I think its population dropped as well, even though I didn't see that. I would assume it did. But yeah, that's probably... The AI is very... The offensive AI, in this case Yugoslavia, is very unlikely to use a nuke first, from our experience in these games. But now that Austria's hit one, it's kind of a free-for-all. I wouldn't be surprised now if Yugoslavia return the favour, and in fact they have. Look, Vienna's wrecked. I didn't even see that. They have 4 manufactories here. Yeah, Graz and Vienna have both been nuked. Graz seems to have gotten away with some of the radiation. It looks like Salzburg was just hit as well. In fact, I think Yugoslavia hit some of their own units with that nuke. Or they hit the nuke first and then moved this one in. Yeah, some of these units may have been damaged. But there we go, our first nuclear war. Zhejiang here has also been hit with one. So yeah, it's going to be costly for Yugoslavia. So now, pressure's kind of on them to take every city to at least make up for the fact that you have had 2 of your better cities hit pretty hard. Austria, though, will be out of nukes probably now. They have 3 left, actually, never mind. Yugoslavia, we know, has... more range on those missiles. They still have 2 of those left and an atomic bomb left. They did not use any of... Oh no, they nuked Bregenz here. I think that was with an atom bomb. Yep, on Bregenz. They do still have the 2 missiles at their disposal. I think they might save those. Those are still pretty rare. I don't think many civs have them because they spammed out the atomic bombs, for example. I don't think the Gauls have a missile. So that's still a threat to any civ in the world that you can hit. Because on this map, the nuclear missile can probably hit most cities, regardless of where it is. But here we go then. We should see some cities drop soon, I would imagine. Austria lost a lot of units in the fallout from that. Literally in the fallout. There we go. Sorry, Austria. Didn't mean to rub it in for you. Sorry about that. Can I open the info? I can't. I'm not brave enough. The Graz has been hit again, though, which is not good news. Yeah, there's 3 cities that could be within a turn if the right unit is in the right place. Although, to be fair, Yugoslavia's units have been cleaned out too. A lot of them dying, and most of them focused here. But yeah, if couple of cities fall at once, that is going to be Austria's in real trouble. They could lose planes if they're also not careful. And yeah, Yugoslavia, they'll have to take the hit from being nuked, but I think they'll get over it. I'm just going to quickly save again and check the numbers between these two. There we go. Boom. Let's have a look. Info Addict. Who's got the biggest military? Yugoslavia is now down to 5th at 848,000, but Austria they're 338. So yeah, that's a pretty, what's that, 510k more for Yugoslavia, which is more than double what Austria has. Monaco has climbed a little bit. Carthage and the Gauls are very close now, tantalizingly close, about 2 units apart apparently. It doesn't look like that, but obviously technology impacts it, and there's units all over the map. To be fair, it's hard to directly measure, and Carthage has probably, I was going to say more boats, but the Gauls have so many units in the sea it is hard to tell. Yeah, Carthage has a lot more boats. The Gauls have more land units in the sea, but Carthage has more boats. Well, here we go then. Austria's turn, actually. They nuked Graz again. That is not the best of strategies, Austria. You do now have no more nuclear weapons. In fact, they have hardly anything left. Vienna's down to 2. Even Klagenfurt here has now been hit by an atomic bomb, I would assume. I think they're... Oh no, they used a missile. And there you go. Kitzbühel. I can't remember who settled this, to be honest, but I feel like it wasn't Austria's initially. But either way, it goes to Yugoslavia, and I think the fall of Austria... I mean, what, they've got 8 minutes and about 20 seconds left of this episode. Can Yugoslavia get a clean sweep as we hit turn 400 as well? Then things will be looking interesting. They will obviously need a bit of a rebuild phase, but once they get through that, Yugoslavia will be looking quite menacing as their turn. They failed to retake that city that Austria got back. They are looking low on units. It says they had over twice as many. Some of them are out here though, and a lot of them are... So have a pretty good navy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Is it gonna crash? The globe's still spinning. Yugoslavia. Oh no. Bosnia and the Gauls teaming up on Yugoslavia. Yeah, this is the end for Yugoslavia. Bosnia already had more troops than them. And yeah, the Gauls are gonna clean up, I think, here as well. That is... Oof, I feel like it's gonna get very laggy in the next few turns. But yes, this huge force will be pushing over to the east. Austria may be saved. And Bosnia has already launched a mega invasion of Belgrade and Zagreb. Things just got interesting. Okay, well, they were already interesting. But this is what we've all been waiting for, I think. Sad, not Yugoslavia, this is terrible for them, but we finally get to see the Gauls in action. We see Bosnia making their move, catching Yugoslavia when they were, you know, struggling a bit in the middle of a nuclear war. Yeah, this is going to be big. Obviously, they could get nuked even more now. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a peace deal between Yugoslavia and Austria. We do not. Here's Bosnia's turn. I'm not going to look at the Gauls side of things too much yet, because it will lag and crash, probably. Well, I'm surprised it didn't crash last turn. This is like 2.5 million troops attacking Yugoslavia. But there you go, Belgrade already at a quarter health. Good start for Bosnia. Piggybacking on some of the work of those Austrian nukes. Yugoslavia, to be fair, you know what, Yugoslavia, they do deserve credit for bringing a lot of the units we don't normally see. Tanks, pretty rare. Now they have a giant death robot, which might be a last look at it, it's got to hold off all these Bosnians. That's going to be a challenge. But yeah, the Gauls will obviously sort of try and surround Venice fairly early. They will have a tougher time, I think. The Gauls, like I said, have not many boats, a lot of land units in the sea, which does give Yugoslavia's navy a bit of an advantage here to at least protect them early on, sort of make the crossing painful. Obviously, any land units in the sea can be easily picked off. But obviously, the Gauls, have access to something like 50 guided missiles. So if they wanted to take a city quickly, just hit it over and over and over again. But yeah, Yugoslavia's navy might just buy them a little bit of time. But it's going to be tough. And if Bosnia took Belgrade this turn, that would be a disaster for Yugoslavia. They would lose most of their air force. I think that's very unlikely, but you never know. I think it's unlikely they would nuke it now. Oh, but never mind. Arges here falls, as does Brundism. Which is that? Oh, that's down here. Okay, yeah, Bosnia's attacking on all of this long front line. Jeez. Okay, but there you go. 2 cities going Bosnia's way. Monaco v Rome is not even a big event anymore, is it? It's just it happens every few years. We're used to it. But yeah, that's not so big. But yeah, we have our event. I hope everyone's excited. I'm gonna have to clickbait the title very hard for this one, I'm sure. Austria does peace out with Yugoslavia and holds on to all of their cities despite being nuked to pieces. And yeah, we will see then. Yugoslavia, will there be anything left? Can Bosnia go for the jugular here and take them out? With the help of the Gauls, obviously, but you think Bosnia could do some real big damage. Belgrade, they already starved it with the citadels, although they actually managed to citadel back Yugoslavia, get some land back. This is big. This is exciting. This is one of the biggest wars we've probably seen. It's not looking great for Yugoslavia, but you know, they knew what they knew the risk when they were making all those moves. So far, the Gauls not really making too much progress against Venice, but of course they will be killing. Oh my goodness, I didn't see this though. A lot of XCOM squads. I said there must have been some other XCOM squads somewhere, or they just upgraded to them all. Although they would have 0 gold, so I don't know how they would do that. But either way, they just built them. If not, they have just huge drop here towards Zagreb, Sarajevo. Not good news for Yugoslavia. That is, you know, even if they're all going to die, you know, even if they're all a suicide mission, they will be soaking up a lot of Yugoslavia's effort, doing a lot of damage. And I mean, yeah, Bosnia got this city for free, like there was no defense. Their main progress here, they are really going for Belgrade, of course, the capital, makes sense. But they are sort of maybe putting a bit less effort. This giant death robot is just giving it its all, still going, still putting up the fight. It's admirable. But this is messy. Should we have another look when this turns over? The numbers now facing them. It was 1.6 million-ish for the Gauls, just when we looked last time. Bosnia was at about 911,000 and Yugoslavia were about 830,000, if I remember correctly. That will have changed probably quite dramatically already. Should have got yourself some allies, Yugoslavia. That's what you should have done. They do have 8 planes in Zagreb, and they have an atomic bomb to hit back with. Not that obviously one atomic bomb would trouble the Gauls too much, although if you hit the Gauls with one, they'll probably hit you back with about 15. So be careful with what you wish for. There you go, Belgrade into the red. Not many siege weapons here, so that's why it's taking a while. They are just ramming land units into it, which is not really recommendable, but oh well. do what you got to do. But there you go. This is what I think a lot of you have been waiting for. We wanted Bosnia Yugoslavia, but the Gauls adding that extra influence could be interesting. I don't think that, like I said, I don't think the Gauls will have the easiest time here because they don't have that many boats. Austria as well. Obviously the kind of big losers here a little bit as well. They just had every city apart from Prague nuked, some of them multiple times. So Austria were really set back quite a bit. But let me just save the game and let's have a look quickly at those stats again. We're not going to do the big checks again, probably. We will just have a little look at when we want to see certain things. Military manpower, there you go. The Gauls did build up a little bit to 1.9 million before the war. Bosnia is at 809k, so it's at 2.7 million against Yugoslavia at 640k. So that's about outnumbered 4 to 1. Now obviously a lot of the Gauls units are still in the mountains, cannot help at all. It's just a logistical nightmare, but it is at least interesting. Rome, Monaco and Carthage now, due to a lot of this death, do occupy... Well, Carthage would have still been second, but Monaco and Rome have climbed temporarily. I don't think it will make a huge difference. But that is going to be it for this one. I'll leave it with a bit of a cliffhanger for the future of Belgrade. I hope you're excited for the next episode. I certainly am now. It is going to be a big one. So thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment on the video. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.